One of the most telling signs that she loves you madly is how effortlessly she prioritizes time with you, treating it like the most precious resource she has. Her days might be crammed with endless demands, work pulling her in one direction, friends planning outings, family needing her attention. But somehow, you always rise to the top. She'll rearrange her schedule without a second thought, skipping that extra hour of sleep just to share breakfast with you, or turning down invitations that don't include you because being apart feels like missing something essential. It's not forced or calculated, it's instinctive. She chooses the quiet moments, lingering over coffee, walking nowhere in particular, or simply sitting in comfortable silence over anything else the world offers. When life gets chaotic, she doesn't retreat into her own space. She reaches for yours, making you her safe harbor, her favorite way to unwind. In a world where everyone is busy, her choice to spend her limited hours with you, again and again, says everything. You're not just an option, you're her priority, the one she can't imagine doing without. Another profound sign that she loves you madly is the way she listens to you with her whole being, absorbing every word as if it's the only sound in the room. It's not the surface level kind of listening where eyes glaze over or responses come half-hearted. Hers is deep, intentional, the kind that makes you feel truly seen. She hangs on your stories, asks follow-up questions that show she's been paying real attention, and weeks or even months later, she'll bring up that random detail you mentioned in passing, like how you once said you loved a certain childhood candy or dreamed of visiting a far-off place. And suddenly it appears, wrapped as a surprise or woven into a plan she's made just for you. Those little recalls aren't accidents. They're proof that your words linger in her mind long after the conversation ends, tucked away like treasure she revisits when you're not around. She remembers the tone in your voice when you shared something vulnerable, the offhand wish you barely noticed saying that, and turns it into thoughtful gestures that catch you off guard in the best way. A book you'd love showing up on your pillow, a playlist echoing songs you mentioned loving years ago, or simply referencing an inside joke at exactly the right moment to make you laugh when you need it most. In a world full of distractions and half-listened conversations, her ability to hold on to the pieces of you, big and small, reveals a love that runs deep, that one that cherishes your inner world as much as the one you share together. Yet another unmistakable sign that she loves you madly is how she becomes your fiercest cheerleader and most steadfast anchor, treating your victories and struggles as if they're woven into her own story. When something good happens to you, a promotion, a personal goal crushed, even a small win like finally nailing that recipe, she doesn't offer polite congratulations. She lights up with pure, unfiltered joy, as if your happiness multiplies her own. And she'll jump in with enthusiastic texts, throw an impromptu celebration, or simply beam at you with that proud glow that says she's genuinely invested in your success. Your achievements aren't competition or something to downplay. They're shared triumphs she celebrates loudly and sincerely, often louder than you do yourself. And when the road gets rough, rejection stings, doubts creep in, or life throws an unexpected curve, she doesn't distance herself or offer empty platitudes. Instead, she draws nearer, wrapping you in quiet strength, listening without judgment, and gently reminding you of your resilience, your talents, the reasons she fell for you in the first place. She'll stay up late talking you through it, send encouraging notes when you need them most, or simply hold space for your frustration until it passes, all while believing in you even when your own belief wavers. This unconditional support isn't performative, it's the natural outflow of a love that sees you fully, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, and chooses to stand right there with you through every part, making you feel unbreakable because she refuses to let you face anything alone. One of the clearest and most intimate signs that she loves you madly is the way touch becomes her unspoken language, flowing naturally and frequently as if she's magnetically drawn to you. It's in the small, effortless gestures, a gentle hand resting on your arm mid-conversation, fingers intertwining with yours while walking side by side, or her head leaning softly against your shoulder during a quiet moment on the couch. These aren't calculated or rare, they happen instinctively, almost constantly, like breathing. She'll brush a stray hair from your forehead with tender care, squeeze your hand under the table when words aren't needed, or trace lazy patterns on your back while you talk, each contact lingering just a second longer than necessary. Physical closeness isn't reserved for passionate moments. It weaves through everyday life, turning ordinary instances into something charged with affection. A quick hug from behind while you're cooking, her knee pressing against yours at dinner, or feet tangling together under the covers at night. This constant, casual touch reveals a deeper need to stay connected, to feel your presence as reassurance and comfort, bridging any silence with warmth. In her touches, you sense the depth of her feelings. You're not just someone she loves from afar, but the person whose nearness feels essential, whose skin against hers quiets the world and speaks volumes about how profoundly you've become her sense of home. A deeply revealing sign that she loves you madly is how she gradually unlocks the most guarded corners of her world, inviting you in where few others are ever allowed. It starts subtly. She mentions her family in stories that feel personal, not just polite small talk. And soon you're meeting them, not as a casual date, but as someone significant enough to join holiday dinners or casual weekends at home. Her closest friends, the ones who've known her through every chapter, suddenly know your name, your quirks, the way you take your coffee, because she's shared you with them proudly, weaving you into conversations like you've always belonged. But it goes further. She opens up about the parts of herself she usually keeps tightly wrapped, the childhood memories that still sting, the dreams she's hesitant to voice aloud, the insecurities she battles in quiet moments, the vulnerabilities she's learned to protect fiercely from a world that hasn't always been kind. These aren't shared lightly. They're entrusted to you because she believes you'll hold them gently, without judgment or exploitation. In letting you see the unfiltered version, the one without the careful facade, she's handing over a level of trust that changes everything, showing that with you, she feels safe enough to be wholly herself, flaws and all. This openness isn't obligation or convenience. It's the profound act of choosing you as her confidant, her witness, the one person whose presence makes her private world feel less lonely and far more complete. Another powerful sign that she loves you madly is the quiet, instinctive protectiveness that emerges not as control or jealousy, but as a tender shield born from how deeply you matter to her. It shows in the smallest shifts, a slight tightening of her hand in yours when someone lingers too long in conversation, or the way her eyes flicker with subtle vigilance if another person steps too close into your space, not dramatic or possessive, but a gentle boundary drawn from care. She'll check in without making it obvious, a casual text asking if you got home safe after a late night, or a quiet, "Be careful," that carries more weight than the words alone, revealing how you're well-being has become intertwined with her peace of mind. When you mention a risky plan or a tough day ahead, she doesn't dismiss it. Instead, there's a soft concern in her voice, offers of help, or practical advice wrapped in warmth, all stemming from an unspoken fear of anything harming the person who's become so essential to her happiness. And the relief is palpable when you reassure her, her shoulders relax, her smile returns fully, as if the world rights itself once she knows you're truly okay. This protectiveness isn't about ownership, it's love in its most primal form, an instinct to safeguard what has become irreplaceable, showing that in her heart, your safety and comfort rank above everything else. The most telling sign of all that she loves you madly is how seamlessly she folds you into her vision of the future, speaking of tomorrow as if you're already written into every page. Conversations drift naturally to next summer's travels, the holidays years down the line, the kind of home she imagines one day, or the adventures she wants to chase, and you're always there, not as an afterthought or a hopeful, maybe, but as an unquestioned certainty. She'll mention, Weh. Without hesitation when talking about concerts months away, dream vacations she's pinning on a mental map, or even the quiet routines she pictures years from now, lazy Sunday mornings, growing old in a house filled with shared memories, raising pets or planning traditions that feel lifelong. These aren't grand declarations forced into the moment, they slip out effortlessly, woven into everyday talk about the weather turning warmer or a new recipe she wants to perfect together someday. There's no awkward pause, no checking your reaction first. She simply assumes your presence because imagining any future without you feels incomplete, almost impossible. In these casual glimpses of what's ahead, she reveals the depth of her commitment. You've become the constant in her horizon. The person who makes every possibility brighter, the one she can't envision building a life without. When these 7 signs appear, not just once or twice, but woven steadily through the days and nights you share together, they paint a picture that needs no further explanation. The way she carves out time for you, listens with her whole heart, cheers your victories and steadies you in defeat, reaches for you without thinking, lets you into her most guarded places, shields you with quiet instinct, and speaks of tomorrow as if you are its heartbeat, all of it adds up to something rare and undeniable. You are not simply liked, not merely wanted, you are loved with a depth that changes everything. Treasure it, return it, and let it grow. Because when a woman loves you this madly, you found the kind of love most people only dream about,